All right, everybody, what is up tonight? I just watched a video over on RX Muscle about Greg Valentino goes off on Luimarco or something like that, it's along those lines. And basically, you had your typical RX Muscle roundtable where you had Aceto, John Romano, Valentino, uh, Dave Palumbo was involved, and the moderator for Root, whatever his name is. It was a very interesting, very entertaining video. I recommend watching it. I know that a lot of people don't really dig RX Muscle in particular, Dave Palumbo, but it was very entertaining. I recommend it. Anyway, they were talking about Luimarco, and one of the topics was, and this was brought up by Greg Valentino, is Luimarco bias towards the Camel crew. And I just saw a video by Boston Lloyd where he was talking about this. He feels that Luimarco has a strong bias towards the Camel crew over in Kuwait, the guys that train at Oxygen Gym. And I think he certainly does. Now, I just found out, or I just watched a video that Luimarco made where he was talking about how he sends people over there. He sent a couple guys over there to train. He recommended going over there, and they went over there. Now, you got to wonder if he doesn't have some interests beyond just typically commenting on bodybuilding, etc. But they brought up the fact that maybe part of the reason that he rags on Phil Heath, he ragged on supposedly something to do with William Bonac. I don't know. He says he didn't do it, but there's something there obviously if Bonac freaks out like that. And I think there's some truth to that. I don't watch a lot of Luimarco's videos. They tend to be, after a while, his personality kind of, you have to turn it off for a little while. You can go back to it, and it kind of you're refreshed in that regard. But nevertheless, he does a great job. He's got 500,000 followers on YouTube or subscribers. So, and I think a lot of what these guys are talking about is his relevance in bodybuilding, and why he has relevance. Simply because he has a large social media following. And that does not sit well with these guys. However, they need to understand that that is the way things go now. People with large following, their opinion matters. People take that opinion as law. They take it as legit, and they respect that opinion. And Valentino and Romano don't really understand that. Now, again, does that make it right or wrong? Who knows? I do know that you have to look at Luimarco, like they were saying. Doesn't use drugs, so he doesn't understand that aspect of pro bodybuilding. He doesn't compete. He's never been to shows, so that I can understand. I can understand why that would upset them. These guys are all involved in bodybuilding for many, many years in all different capacities. Um, I like to ride motorcycles. If somebody criticized my riding, but they didn't ride or had never ridden, I'd be like, what are you talking about, man? That means nothing to me. You have no idea what you're talking about. But if that person, has 500,000 million subscribers, and they put this criticism out there of my riding ability, people would take that for what it is. They would take that criticism to heart, and they would feel it has some weight. So it is what it, regardless. But Luimarco, he is a student of bodybuilding, as Dave Palumbo said. So he does have legitimate points, and he does bring up legitimate topics of conversation, and his opinions are legitimate and correct many times. The bubble gut thing, that I think he needs to drop that. I realize it gets a lot of clicks, a lot of views, but that's not going away in professional bodybuilding. So you can complain about it, but it's not going away. And bodybuilding is judged by and they brought this up in the video. It's judged by the poses that you're doing on stage and how you conduct yourself on stage. If you're backstage, you let the gut go. If you're off to the side, that's not part of the contest. And so if they can control their guts otherwise, that was one of the arguments. Most of these guys feel that there isn't a gut problem in bodybuilding. Greg Valentino, whoever did. I agree with Greg. I mean, obviously these guts are getting bigger because these guys are getting bigger. They're eating more and they're taking more of the pharmaceutical goodies. So it is what it is. But Luimarco is really getting hammered now. And one of the things that, once you start talking about people and you reach a level that he has, and they brought this up. I'm not the first guy to say this, but you got to have some thick skin. I mean, even on my channel, I mean, people come on and I make a video and they're like, "Who the fuck are you? This guy's bigger than you. Why are you talking about him? You could kick your ass." Who cares? I mean, it's just a waste of energy to care about something like that. I mean, no big deal, man. They watched the video. That's all I give a shit about. But, at that level, I suppose there's some ego involved in it. He probably feels that he is very relevant in bodybuilding, and rightfully so. So, I mean, if you ask people like who watch YouTube a lot, name a bodybuilding celebrity on YouTube, they're going to probably say Luimarco, in the top 5 or top 3, whatever it is. That's just the way it is. So, and that's the way it always will be from here on out. Dave brought that up. Dave made a good point. When he brought that up, the other guys kind of refused to accept Luimarco's relevance in bodybuilding, but I think there's a little bit of envy there that he's gotten to where he's gotten. He's making the money that he's making, just making YouTube videos, and a lot of money to be made on YouTube. I think Dave interviewed Rich Piana. Rich Piana was making like $5,000 to $15,000 a month off of YouTube. So you got to figure, do the math. Luimarco's up there in subscribers. I mean, so he's making a great living for what most people would consider a great living off of YouTube. Awesome. I'm jealous, man. Shit, I wish I could just sit in my living room and make videos, take shit off, pictures off, and talk about them. I mean, that's a dream job, man. And that's a lot of the reason these guys, don't like him or don't have positive feelings for him because he's making a living without really having the background. He's got a huge following, and he knows a lot of these bodybuilders on a semi-close level. They talk to him, so he's actually more of an insider maybe than the other guys are at this point. Who knows? I mean, it's certainly Dave Palumbo. He probably knows a ton of people in the industry, and Aceto works with people, and Romano. I mean, he's a diet guy, I think. So but Marco might have as much credibility with bodybuilders as those guys do. Some of these bodybuilders, anyway. Does he have anything going on over in Kuwait with these guys? Is it financial? Is it just reputation? Who knows? But it is what it is. It's very interesting. I think it's good for bodybuilding that we have these little feuds a la pro wrestling. This creates interest in bodybuilding, and the next show that comes up, I mean, people are going to want to know opinions. They're going, is Luimarco going or whatever? So yeah, excuse me. I think it's good for the sport.